An if statement is a way to make decisions in your code. Let's write if with brackets and parentheses. If the condition we write inside of these parentheses is true, it will run the block of code inside of these parentheses. And if the condition inside the parentheses is false, it'll just skip the whole block altogether. So let's go over some comparison operators. Let's make a comment here. So the first and most easiest one to understand is equal to. This operator is used when you're trying to compare two values to see if they're equal to each other. Next, we have greater than. Use this operator if you want to check if one number is greater than another number. Next, we have less than. And you use this operator to check if a number is less than another number. Next, we have greater than or equal to. So this will check if a number is greater than or equal to a specific number. Then we have less than or equals to. This will check if a number is less than or equal to a specific number. And then we also have is not equal to. And this is used to check if a value is not equal to a specific value. Now let's write out some examples of how each one of these work. First, let's make an int called x equals to 100. Now let's write is x equal to 100. Print f in f semicolon. When we run this program now, it's going to say in f because x is equal to 100. Control F5. We can see in if. If we update x to be 101, slightly different, Control F5, we can say in if doesn't appear. X is now 101. When we run it, this condition is now false, so it'll skip this logic and continue on till the end of the program. That's how you can check if a variable is equal to an exact number or an exact value. Next, let's use greater than. Now this condition says if x is greater than 100, run the code. If it's not, continue on with the program. Let's do Control F5. As you can see, it'll run the print statement here because x is indeed greater than 100. If we make x equal to 99, which is less than 100, it won't run the print statement because in this context, you should be reading this as 99 is greater than 100. That's a false statement. It's not true, so it won't run this. If you made x equal to 100 and you ran it, it still won't be a true condition because 100 is equal to 100, not greater than 100. But if we had a float here and we did 100.1, then this would be greater than because it's greater than the value of 100. Let's change this back to an int. And let's update this condition now. Let's look at is less than. So we're basically just going to flip this around. And now we're saying is x less than 100? If we run this, this is going to return false, so this won't be true. It's going to skip this if statement because 100 is not less than 100. 100 is equal to 100, so it's not going to work. If we update this to, for example, 10, we run it, Control F5, 10 is less than 100. That's a true statement, so it'll print the if statement. Let's just make this equal to 101 just to prove bigger it won't work. And 101 is not less than 100, so this is a false statement. So it'll skip this and continue on with the program. Next, let's do greater or equal to. Let's flip this back around. We're going to say is if x is greater or equal to 100, print the statement. Right now, 101 is greater than 100, so let's run it again. We're going to get in if. But now if we change this to 100, we run it, it'll still be true because 100 is equal to 100. And this is checking if it's equal to or greater than 100. So this is now a true condition, where before when we just had this was not. So these both have different use cases for different programs, and we'll get into that later. Next we have is less than or equal to. So again, you just flip this operator around, and you're checking if x is less than or equal to 100. So again, if we run it, this is also a true condition because x equal to 100. And again, if we were to remove the equal sign and just check if x is less than 100, it's going to be false. So same thing here. If you add the equal sign, it'll work when the number's equal to it. Again, if it's lower than, this is still a true statement. We make a greater than our value here. This will now be false because 101 is not less than 100. As you can see, it's false. Lastly, we have is not equal. So here, you're just going to write exclamation point equals. And this is going to be true as long as x does not equal to 100. Or we could change this to any value. Let's change it to 10. So if we run it, 101 is not equal to 10. That's a true condition. If we update this to 10, we run it, 10 is not equal to 10. That's a false statement. 10 is equal to 10, so it's going to run this statement here. Let's do a little experiment. Let's change this to a float instead. Let's run it. Still false. Let's do 0.0 and let's run it. Still false. Let's do 0.1. Run it. Now it's not, because 10.01 is not the same as 10, where 10.00, for example, is equal to 10 because it's the same value. If we were to change this to equal to, then it would be true, and we'd get the value to say in if.